Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? Welcome to 11 a.m. Talk with Angel Charmaine. I am the owner of Speak Up Sis LLC and the editor in chief of Speak Up Sis magazine. I show up in this space Monday through Friday, typically at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some days I'm not here if I have work I need to get done, but for the most part, I'm here Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Monday, June 2nd. It is the first Monday of a new month as we are ushered into a new season, summertime. And I want to talk to you all about not being so quick to rush into new things because it's a new month, right? Absolutely. So I titled this New Month, Same Me, but Wiser. So I'm not going to be doing new month, new me, new things. Yeah, no. We're going to talk about not chasing perfection every single month, but continue to work in the progress that we have already made and that we have been making. So I welcome you to come into the space and chop it up with me just a little while today. I am going to be going into the Speak Up Sis Empowerment Center today. So I'm not going to be in this space very long. I'm going to get in what needs to be said, and then I'm going to mosey on out of the way for today. All right. So, for those of you who may be new into the space, let me go ahead and do our little bit of housekeeping. We are leaders in this space, not lurkers. That means if you are watching from the outside, click the video, come on in, join the conversation. Let us know that you're here. Say hello, hi, whatever your greeting of choice is, put that in the comments. Also, feel free to share your comments, your questions, feedback, all that good stuff. You can put them in the comments and talk to one another. This is a place where we build community through engagement. And we remember that the people on the other side of the computer, the people on the other side of the phone, they're real people. So talk to each other, build community within this particular space is so welcome. I also ask that you will hit those reactions like heart, love, cry, angry, whatever you're feeling during this time. Feel free to react. Those reactions help to bring about more engagement for this live so more people can see what it is that we do in this space. If you absolutely love what we do in the space, I welcome you to subscribe to our Facebook community. These lives are available to you for an additional 30 days on Facebook. So you can come back and check them out at your leisure if you're unable to stay for the full time and all that good stuff. So please consider being one of our subscribers here on Facebook. If you are watching via YouTube, I welcome you to click subscribe there as well. Become a part of our YouTube community. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, hello, how you doing? I know I show up in that space very naturally, looking like myself. This is what I look like pretty much every day. I understand that LinkedIn is this really big, bold corporate place. I choose to show up authentically as myself, Angel Charmaine Wright, owner of Speak Up Sis LLC and editor in chief of Speak Up Sis magazine, the way I look every single day, even in the LinkedIn space. And so I show up even in that realm to demonstrate that you can absolutely show up as who you authentically are in all of your spaces. So this broadcast streams to those three major platforms. So wherever you're viewing, I ask that you will engage in the conversation while you are here. Deborah Jefferson, good morning, sis. You're the first in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for speaking. I really appreciate you. I saw you, I believe this was a weekend that you were at the market over in Aiken. Looks like you had a really good time over there this weekend. So good job for you. I'm always happy to see you, sis, doing the work. you're putting the work in to grow yourself as an author, as an entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. So I'm really excited to see how you're moving and all the good things that are happening with you. All right. So yes, 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 yes. Yes, honey, you are doing well, and I am super duper proud of you. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into what we are talking about. Pulling up my notes here. Pulling up my notes here. So today I want to let me see. Yes, everything went really well Saturday. Thank you, sis. You're welcome. You're welcome. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this again. The very last caveat, if you will, for those of you who are brand spanking new into the room, I am a teacher. I always ask that you give me the liberty to take my time. I write out notes and I do all the things so that I can show up well for you all in this space. So sometimes I may get just a little long-winded, or I may tell stories, or I may give background information. It's simply my style of teaching. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this conversation. And today I want to have a real conversation about what it looks like to grow wiser and not just older. June is my birthday month. I turned 48 years amazing on June 10th. And because growth isn't always glow up on the outside, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes your growth is going to be really quiet. Sometimes your growth is going to kind of be behind the scenes. You're going to be developing wisdom along the way. And even though we get a year older, sometimes you don't necessarily see the changes that took place in a full year on the outside. But I promise you, there's so many changes going on the inside, both spiritually, physically, mentally, psychologically, all of the leads, right? And that makes us respond differently and move differently and even love differently, right? So, what I want to talk about today is how we can continue to work on the things that we've been working on, how we can continue to grow and glow while not chasing perfection, not feeling the need to change everything up just because we got a new month. All right. So let's talk about three things that I believe grown, wise women do at the beginning of the month. The first thing that I want to talk about is reflection. Before you go into full reset mode, and it's like, okay, May is gone. I did these things, and now it's June. I'm going to jump right into the next thing. It's very important that we learn to reflect before we reset. It's so important. Listen, y'all, I'm practicing. I just caught myself doing something. This is one of those in the moment transparent things. I'm finding myself looking across the screen like this as if I'm talking to an audience in front of me. I've been working on connecting with my audience for in-person conversations, in-person speaking, and that requires me to kind of look. And so even though you all are technically like not, I'm in front of me right now, I am talking as like I'm moving my head and my eyes and everything because I've been practicing engaging with my audience. It was just a moment, y'all. I'm sharing in the moment. It was, and because I noticed, I was like, why are you looking around like that? I'm thinking while I'm talking. Anywho, thank you, Deborah, for sharing and tagging other people into the conversation today. I appreciate that. And absolutely, we have to reflect on the past in order to push forward. Absolutely. We don't just rush to set goals. First, we ask, what did I learn last month? What needs to stay in May? And that is how we stop dragging old junk into new seasons. So if you don't actually sit down with yourself, take a look at what you, even if you set quarterly goals, right? You may have set a quarterly goal and you may say, okay, January, February, March, and then you've got April, May, and June. You may still be inside of second quarter, but you don't wait until you get to the end of the second quarter, and you don't wait until you get to the end of the full year to actually sit down and reflect on what you've done. I think self-reflection at the end of your day, self-reflection at the end of your week, self-reflection at the end of your month, all of these levels of self-reflection are important, and they are necessary to make sure that you're not dragging stuff into a new place that doesn't belong there. And it's important for you to know, like, okay, I'm done with this. I think it gives us a bit of closure as well for the things that we did do, the things that we did accomplish, right? When you sit down and you take that time to self-reflect, you're able to celebrate. First, you're able to recognize the wins that you had in that previous month with those previous tasks or assignments that you had. You give yourself time to sit down, to think about it, to process it, to say, I really did well. Y'all know I call them grows and glows areas. And shout out to Dr. Vita New. She was my principal, my first principal at Hepzibah High School. And when she would do our teacher evaluation, she would not talk to us in terms of strengths and weaknesses. She wouldn't use those words. She would say grows and glows. And so I adopted that. I kind of took that from her because I like the terminology. I like the verbiage a little better. So self-reflection at the end of the month, to be able to sit down with yourself and determine the areas in which you grew, in which those are areas you did extremely well, places where you felt really strong, very confident, very competent, places where you improved. All of those things are a part of your glows. Grows are areas where you could use a bit of development, right? You could get a bit stronger in those areas. They're not necessarily weaknesses. They could be weaknesses, but they're areas that you just need to do a little bit more development. Maybe you need to study a bit more in that area. Maybe you need to practice a little bit more in that area. Sometimes we can look at our areas for growth and determine if you've been working on this grow area for a long time, it doesn't seem to be moving. It's not, you may want to decide, is this something that you really should be putting a lot of energy in or not, right? Is this a grow area that is necessary for who I am, what I'm doing, and how I'm showing up in the world? Or is this just something that I'm stuck doing, that I'm just really not great at, and it really doesn't impact anything, and I really should just let it go? These are the types of things you want to assess during times of reflection. During times of reflection. So the first thing, again, that I want us to take a look at as we enter into June is, did you take some time to reflect? And we're not so far into June. We just got into June on yesterday. We're not so far into June that you can't take today to sit down and think about the things that went on in May to help you determine where you need to begin in June. Of course, it is optimal for you to do this type of self-reflection before you get into the new thing, the next month, the next quarter, or whatever. But if you haven't done it, today's a great day to do it. Okay. I have a question for those of you who are here. I see Deborah is chit-chatting with me. I see there are folks watching and you all are not communicating. And here again, we do not lurk in this space. We are not lurkers. We are leaders. If you're watching, say something. You can say, hello, how you doing? I'm in listening mode or something, but don't be a lurker. Yeah. I'm tempering my tongue with tact today. I'm tempering my tone with tact. Good morning, Q. Thank you so much for speaking. I appreciate you. So I have a question for those of you who are in the building. Did you take time, and be honest with yourself? And if you feel like you got to make up something, don't type anything, because I don't want you to make up stuff in this space. I want you to be honest with yourself. Did you take time at the end of May or sometime in May to do some self-reflection about what you did in the month prior to coming into June? Did you take time to do some self-reflection in May prior to coming into June? I know, Deborah. I know. I can see them. I can see them. So I'm going to pause just a second just to give you all an opportunity to come in and let me know, did you do any self-reflection? Okay, let's see here. Thank you so much for responding, Q. He says, no, I rarely reflect month to month. A lot of times the first of the month kind of sneaks up on me and I don't realize it. So I believe that's most of us. Even though I know to do self-reflection, even though I know it's a good thing to do self-reflection month to month, I don't always do it either. Clearly, I'm not a perfect individual. I haven't honed that skill quite fully yet, but it is a good process. Let me ask you this, Q. Do you think it would be beneficial for you to add that month to month process? Do you think it would be something that would be beneficial for you or not? Do you believe that you operate at your optimal level, being able to self reflect in the moments that you do? Or do you have a designated time for self-reflection? So do you sit and do your self-reflection quarterly? Do you do it annually? Like, do you, even if you're not doing it month to month, do you have a designated time that you set out to ensure that self-reflection is a part of your process? Deborah says, yes, I'm in an accountability group and we have to list our accomplishments for the month and goals for the next. That is so awesome. I'm glad you said that. Accountability partners and or groups are always really good to help keep you on track when it comes to reflection, self-reflection, personal reflection, as well as professional self-reflection. I simply recommend that you make sure you vet your groups. Make sure that the groups are actually going to stay focused. They're going to keep you focused, that they're not going to be enabling groups. Oftentimes we will end up with accountability partners who aren't very accountable, or we'll enter into groups that are supposed to be accountability groups, but they don't actually hold your feet to the fire. So I definitely agree that accountability groups are amazing. They're very helpful when they do what they're supposed to do. So that's a good thing, Deborah, that you found an accountability group that works for you and that helps you to stay focused when it comes to reflection. I've never really thought about it, but I can see the benefits of it. I guess that I need to try it. I never really think about previous achievements outside of things that are work related. I'm going to set a reminder to do so July 1st and try. That's what's up. That's what's up. And please, keep us posted on how that works for you. You said something that kind of sparked my brain in just a moment. You said, I never really think about previous achievements outside of things that are work related. I think that is something we can sort of hone in on, zoom in on, and I want to address it. It is so important that we begin to acknowledge the accomplishments, the accolades, the achievements that happen outside of work related spaces. I think sometimes when it comes to being a parent, we get to a place where we're just parenting all the time. We're just parenting, parenting, parenting. And it just becomes a part of who you are and what you do and whatever. But I think it's important to also sit down and have some self-reflection on what happens in your non-work spaces. What achievements happen for you as a parent? as a wife, as a husband, as a friend? Did you show up for your friends well in the month of May? Are there ways and opportunities for you to show up as a better friend in the month of June? How are you as a supporter? Right? Do you support the people you say you love and care about? Do you do a good job of that? How did you show up? When we say, "Oh, I'm supporting, melanated people, whatever," sometimes you need to sit down and like actually reflect on that. I think a lot of people talk about stuff they don't actually do. And if they sit down and actually take stock of what they're actually doing, they'll realize that they're really not glowing the way that they are saying that they're glowing, right? Look at your finances. Do you sit down and take a look at how well you managed and stewarded your finances in the month of May prior to going into the month of June? Right? So these are all non-work related achievements, accomplishments, progress that you can make that is important for you to acknowledge. It helps you to really sit with where you are honestly. I think a lot of people think more highly of ourselves than we should. I think a lot of us a lot of us don't actually see the truth. And then there are some of us who are doing a lot. We're doing really great things and we don't give ourselves enough credit for the achievements and the accomplishments and the work that we are doing. So self-reflection will allow you to actually sit with yourself and acknowledge where you are in real time in an honest way. So thank you for saying that, because I think it's important for us to note that. Hey, Latoya, thank you so much for popping in today. I see you. Okay, you facilitate the group that Deborah's in. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so point number two. Point number two, we prioritize peace. We need to reflect before we reset in this new month, and we definitely want to prioritize our peace. Every goal in June should be connected to your peace. If it's stealing your peace, it's not worth putting on the list. That is going to also come along with that self-reflection from point number one. You want to sit and determine what are those things that allowed you to operate well from a healthy place, not a stressed out place, not an overwhelmed place, right? You want to ensure that you are doing things and doing things in a way that will prioritize your peace. There are way too many people leaving this place because of stress, blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks, all sorts of things, that are relatively young in their late 30s, mid 40s, and early 50s. People are like, folks are just leaving here. When I look at my time, I'm like, my goodness, every single day it's another relatively young person that's in midlife, right? Who's just and you got to know that stuff is coming because you're stressed out. You're stressed out. So as we are in June and we are beginning to matriculate through this month, realize that every goal that you set should connect to your peace in a positive way. It should help to contribute to you ending in a place of peace in whatever it is that you're doing. A value that is very important to me is job satisfaction. I am a person who values job satisfaction over monetary gain. Money does not move the needle for me. Job satisfaction, enjoying what I do, is what moves the needle. I have learned that I show up my fullest self, my best self, and I am better for people when I am happy and content with the work that I am doing. And that brings me peace. Anytime I am not satisfied with the work that I'm doing, I'm not content with what is put before me to do, I know I need to rein it in. I need to figure out how I can connect what it is that I get to do with remaining in a place of peacefulness. Because once I'm dissatisfied with the work, or once I'm not happy in a situation, baby, is yeah, it's not gonna be beneficial for me or anybody else. So prioritizing peace as you go into this new month and as you begin to work towards these goals and these targets in June, make sure that you're prioritizing your peace. I promise you. Anything that is going to disturb your peace, it's not worth putting at the top of the list of things to do. Now, get this. I am not saying that you should not do hard things. I'm not saying that you should not do hard things. You can absolutely be doing difficult things that don't disturb your calm. There's a difference between doing something that you love that is something difficult versus doing something that you abhor. You could be doing something that's super easy for you to do, and it causes you stress. It causes you overwhelm. Why? Because it's not connected to what it is that you're supposed to be doing in this earth, and so it's just going to disturb your peace. So I want to be clear about that. I am not saying if it's difficult to do, don't do it. No. If anything, I'm going to tell you, like the book that I told you all I've been reading, like eat the biggest, ugliest frog first. If what you have to do is connected to what your purpose is, what your assignment is, it's just something that is difficult to do, then no, you tackle that first. Put that on the top of the priority list. Eat the biggest, ugliest frog first, and then everything else is smooth sailing after that. So don't get it twisted. I want you to prioritize peace, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to do the difficult things. Okay, so I want to clarify that. Hello, Cherise, how you doing? Thank you so much for tapping in today. I appreciate you. So the first point that I made today, the first three things that I believe grown wise women do at the top, not just women. I know Q is here. These are not things that are only for women. Of course, men and women can utilize these principles. However, you all know that I primarily talk to an audience of women. So I'm always appreciative when men pop in and glean from the field as well. But sometimes I forget, like men and women are on here. So these are things that grown women and men can begin to do at the top of the month, at the top of the week, at the top of the quarter, at the top of the year, wherever you choose to place your self-reflection time, right? So the first one is to reflect before you reset. Hey, Tashura, how you doing, sis? Thank you so much for popping in and for speaking this morning. I really appreciate you. The second point that I just made was that you want to prioritize your peace. If it is detracting from your peace, it should not be at the top of your priority list. And you really want to assess whether it is something that you should be doing, or maybe that's something that you need to delegate to someone else. Sometimes the work that we have to do, it causes us so much stress. It's better to just pay somebody else to do it. Trust me, I have learned delegation, and I have learned that there are some tasks that disturb my soul in such a way, it is just best for me to find the money to pay somebody else to do it versus having to trudge through it. And the third point, which I think is probably the most important point out of all of the three that I'm sharing today, and that is that we tell ourselves the truth. We tell the truth to self. Do not enter into another month telling yourself the untruth. There was a time when we were children, we couldn't say lie, right? You were telling a fib, or you were telling the untruth. Before, at the beginning of every month, you want to make sure that you are telling yourself the truth. Don't fake progress. Do not fake progress. I cannot say that enough. It is, to me, oftentimes it's really, to me, it's obvious. Maybe it's discernment. Maybe the Lord has just given me a level of discernment where I can just kind of see through people. Absolutely, Deborah, telling a story. We had to say, you telling a story, you telling the untruth, you telling the fear, but you could not say lie. But the truth is, we lie to other people and we lie to ourselves. And so we will fluff up the progress. We may have been glowing like a lamp in a room and not like the sunshine, right? But we just make up stuff and we just create just what's not the truth. It's one thing to position yourself a certain way. It's one thing to, to show up professionally and positively, to speak life and all those things. That's one thing. But to just lie and fake your progress, it's not helpful. It's not helpful to the people around you, and it's definitely not helpful to you. Here again, there are many of us who esteem ourselves higher than we really are. We put ourselves in a place that, like, that's not really where you are. And so if you're faking your progress, like, what are you really working towards? How do you actually see true progress if you're always inflating it? So we don't fake the process. At the beginning of the month, don't fake the process or the progress, right? We take a moment, we sit still, we pause, we adjust. You say, okay, I didn't do what I said I was going to do last month, but I'm still worthy of trying again. I'm still able to try again. I'm still here. I get a second chance. I get to regroup, reassess, reevaluate, and then redo this thing. Try it from another angle, whatever we need to do. And let me tell you, being able to be honest with yourself about your progress and your process, it is not a weakness, it's wisdom. I'm never going to come on here. Listen, I am your authenticity coach. That's what I do. That's what I have conversations about every single day. It's how you can show up in your life, both personally and professionally, as your authentic self. And to do that, you need to stop lying to yourself. Stop self-deceiving. Stop being in a self-delulu state of mind. Some people are faking their progress and their process so much that they have no idea as to where they truly are. Sometimes faking where you are is going to hinder you from getting where you want to be. Sometimes I believe the Lord will open doors and unveil you just to show you you weren't ready. I believe that. I believe there are some people who are begging so much, Lord, Lord, just open the door. Just, Lord, I want to go viral. Lord, I want this. Lord, I want that. Lord, I want this. And I believe there are times when he says, okay, and he allows it to show you that you weren't ready in the first place. You thought you were because you've been pretending, but you weren't. We want to be in rooms with people who are who have really put in a lot more work than us, who have, worked to acquire a lot more influence than us, people who have developed systems and teams and implemented things that are far far above and beyond where we are. But because we've been faking, we get into situations where we're not going to be able to stand. And that's where your character, your integrity, your authenticity is going to show you for who you absolutely are or aren't. So it's just best to be honest with yourself. Don't fake the progress. If you sold 50 books, don't say that it's just best to say, in the month of May, I sold 50 books. Not, I'm almost at 100. No, you sold 50 books. You sold 50 books. You may almost be to 60, but you're halfway there. Don't fake the progress, because it's difficult to set realistic, attainable, smart goals when you won't properly assess where you really truly actually are. Look at the numbers and see what the numbers say. I understand positive thinking. I get it. I know y'all. I understand growth mindset, positive thinking, and all the other things. I know a whole lot of people who do a whole lot of, meditating and growth mindset or whatever, and they're still not growing. So then what's the issue? You got to sit down, look at where you really are, stop telling yourself stories so that you can actually do the work and get the stuff done that needs to be done so you can actually make bona fide progress and get where you're trying to go. Yes, Tiana says, I'm halfway to my goal of 100. That is being honest. That is giving yourself positive language, that is forward thinking, that says, I know I'm going to reach there, but it is honest. 50 is half of 100. You still have a ways to go to get to your 100. And that's just an example, y'all. So before we go into this new month, or we're in this new month, but before you get into new months, right? These are some things that you can choose to do to help make sure that you have a productive, a healthy, well new month. To me, the idea of being new every single month is giving running. And I just want to say, my next book in the conversational narrative series is going to be coming out. Prayerfully, it will release by the end of June, or I know definitely it will release this summer. I can tell you that. And it is all about running. It is all about running. And sometimes I believe that the whole new month, new me, new year, new me, new quarter, let's start new, it is a form of running. It is a form of not sitting still and dealing with what's really going on. Every month you starting something fresh. Every week you got something new. When are you going to actually take time to build, to develop, to hone, to grow the new thing you started last month? I remember in education, it used to be so aggravating. Like every year, the county would come up with some new thing that we needed to do with our students. And it's like, you just gave us something new to do last year. You haven't even given us time to work with the thing. We don't even know if it really works because you gave it to us, or you gave it to us 3 years ago, and now it's the fourth year, and you told us to scrap what we did the last 3 years. You haven't even given us time to see if what we started with our freshmen worked by the time they became seniors. The new thing is a way of running. It's a way of running from the truth and facing the facts and being able, we got to stop it. Yes, it's a new month, but I promise you, I'm the same angel. I'm wiser, but it's not a new me. It's not a new me. Even though I'm gonna turn a whole new year and age this month, I'm still angel. I'm wiser. My glow is different. My movements have shifted a bit. But no, I'm not changing angel again. No, ain't this is me. I'm just gonna continue to grow and glow as Angel Charmaine. Why do we feel the need to be a new person every single new calendar day, month, week, or whatever? I don't want to be a new angel. I already got a new heart and a new renewed mind. I don't need to be new. Now, do I need to be revamped sometimes? Do I need this heart to be washed and cleansed sometimes? Absolutely. But do I need to be a new person every single month? No, absolutely not. That has got to be exhausting. It is exhausting because I used to live like that. Always going to something new, something new, something better. If it's new, it's better. If it's new, is develop who you are. You are enough. You really are. You really are. So, these are 3 things that I believe if you begin to implement them, uh, at the end of your months before you go into a new month. And here again, not just a month. If you choose to do this quarterly, if you're someone who is consistent enough to do this daily, you can absolutely do self-reflection on a daily basis. You can self-reflect at the end of the day if you're journaling. If you want to do self-reflection at the end of each week prior to going into a new week, absolutely it works. If you can be that consistent and faithful to the process, I think it would definitely be beneficial. I remember listening to Jim Rohn once. I love listening to Jim Rohn. I absolutely do, y'all. And I remember him talking once about planning, and he said that he always finished the thing before he started it. And that stuck with me. He said he always finished the thing before he started it. And what that looked like was walking through it, planning it out prior to actually doing it, and then having those moments of self-reflection, right? And tweaking that thing. So before you go into next week, you've already planned it out. You know what you're going to be doing. And so when you get to the end of that week, you can sit down and you can actually sit down and do some evaluation and look at, did I do what I said I was going to do? What things worked, what things didn't work, what things can I scratch off my list, what things need to move into the next week, what things do I need to scrap altogether, right? You're able to operate at that level when you choose to be honest with yourself about where you are and actually sit down to do the reflection so that you can do the planning. Some people plan without any self-reflection, which I think is odd. How do you plan what you're going to do next if you don't actually do self-reflection first? I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting. My personal opinion. But I believe self-reflection is important, and I think is necessary to operate at our greatest level. Here again, can people do things and it work for them? Absolutely. I'm never talking about just doing stuff to get it done. Anytime I am sharing with you all, anytime I'm sharing tips and nuggets and things, it's because I believe in working at our greatest, fullest potential in the spirit of excellence. So yes, I may be talking about things that require a lot of consistency, require a lot of work. That I even talk about things that I'm working on. Some of the things I talk about, I have perfected for me, and some of the things I am in progress of perfecting. Either way, I'm not talking about just regular basic stuff for you to just be regular and basic. No, I want you to be your fullest, greatest self in the spirit of excellence. And so, can you do well without incorporating any of these principles? Absolutely. Will you be working at your optimal best level, giving your best effort? No. Now, if you're okay with that, if you're okay with your good being your best versus your best being your greatest, then okay, that's on you. That's on you. You get to choose that. But sometimes I think good is the enemy of best because you're doing good. You never get to being the best. My desire is to be the best at what I set out to do and to be. That's my goal. That's my goal. And everything that I do, I set out to be the best at it. Not just the best in my circle, not just the best in my city. My goal is to be the best in the world in the area in which I am working in. That's my goal. That's it. And my goal is for people to say, huh, like when it comes to authenticity, Angel's the best at that. She's the best at that. You want to learn how to be your most authentic self and thrive and be well and healthy in your mind, spirit, bodies. Like, she's the best. You need to know her. That's what I want. Anything other than that, I still got work to do. Mama, what did you break? She rolling over something, right? So I say that because I know some of you may say, well, I do really well and I don't do any of those things. Okay, and that's cool. Some of you may say, well, I don't really aspire to be the best. I just really want to be good at it. And that's okay. If that's your goal, that's fine. But anytime you come into this space, I'm going to be talking to you about things that will allow you to show up as your authentic self and be the absolute best at it that you can possibly be. Period. Hands down. Full stop. And I am done for today. I do have a prompt for you. No, not Jim Rome, the sports guy. Q. Jim Rome. I believe Jim Rome is deceased at this point, but he was. I want to say he was in the network marketing area. Excuse me, industry. Jim, not Rome. Rome. Rohn. Jim Rohn, Rohn. I believe he was in network marketing. If you go to YouTube and you type in Jim Rohn, he's like this little bitty Caucasian guy. I love his way of talking. He's very matter of fact. He's funny, practical, brilliant, all of the things. I absolutely love listening to Jim Rohn. So yeah, check him out. If you all have not listened to him, go check him out. Yes, Rohn. That's that country. Listen, that's that Georgia girl. Q, let me tell you what's the weirdest thing. It's not weird, but I think it's funny sometimes. My captions, anytime I'm putting captions on my videos, they listen, the stuff that they pick up, I'm like, I did not say that. Even to me, I'm like, that is not even what it sounds like I said. But I guess to the machine, I'm using all kind of words. So sometimes it makes me sit back and do some self-reflection. Like, I wonder if people are listening to me. I wonder if they're hearing what I'm saying. Are they hearing what they think I'm saying? I always have to go and edit the captions on my videos because I'm like, I did not say that. That is not the word I use. I think that's that Georgia slang. That's that Georgia slang. Understand. So today I'm going to go ahead and wrap our 11 a.m. talk. And I just want you to not forget, right? I want you to remember that this isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming more real and displaying the real, true, honest, authentic you. It's about becoming wiser, right? It's about becoming less afraid. It's about becoming more free, not becoming brand new every single month, right? And if you haven't heard it today or last month or at all, I want to say to you all that you're doing better than you think you are. You really are. You're welcome. My mama said, thank you. You're doing better than you think you are. Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. That is why self-reflection is so important, because it allows you to see that you have made improvement from last week, from last month, from last year. So keep growing, keep glowing, keep doing the things, right? And give yourself some grace. Before I go, I made myself a note because I always forget. Let me see. Hold on a second. I know that your lives are catered towards women, but I do always get something from it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Q. One thing I can say about Speak Up Sis, from day one, back in September 9th, 2018, we had our very first Speak Up Sis experience. Men have shown up and supported Speak Up Sis. In the beginning, there were more men supporting Speak Up Sis. I'm talking about sharing Speak Up Sis, financially giving to Speak Up Sis, all the things. There were more men who were supporting in those types of ways than women. And so I am always grateful, always appreciative of the men God allows to come into the space and to sort of give us a little bit of that protection that that only men can provide. And so for you to be able to come into the space and also glean from the space, it makes me feel really good. So I thank you and I appreciate you. So one thing that I typically forget to do in this space is to let you all know what I'm doing. It's something that I'm learning to do. And when it came to my own self-reflection, I realized that I don't promote enough of the things that I'm doing. And in order for me to grow and to glow, I need to tell y'all what I'm doing, how you can support, how you can participate, and all those things. And I need to do it a bit more regularly. So I did make a note to myself to say to you all that I will be speaking in Pennsylvania on Saturday, June 14th. With Rhema Creations. The Speak Up Sis experience is being hosted by Rhema Creations in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania on June 14th. It's a Saturday. If you are anywhere near Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, go ahead. I think you can still grab a ticket. I think it's like $25. You can absolutely come and participate. We're going to have an amazing time. If you've ever been to a Speak Up Sis experience, you already know there will be breakthroughs. There will be freedom in the room. There will be authenticity. There's going to be love. Child, you might cry. You're going to be laughing. You're going to get hugged, probably too much. We have an amazing time. So I will be there. And I want to shout out Rhema Creations for hosting the Speak Up Sis experience. There's also going to be entertainment and all sorts of things there. So make sure that you are in the building. If you're anywhere near Pennsylvania, if you are in Augusta with me and you want to go, because I'm going to be road tripping, Mary and Melissa going with me. So if you are like, hey, I want to go, and you want to y'all want a caravan, y'all want a caravan there, y'all want to take Augusta to Pennsylvania, all you got to do is reach out to me and we can talk about it and make it happen. Okay. And then I'll be on a panel with Grace for this. There, I believe it is Grace and Grit Wellness Panel in Augusta, Georgia, June 27th and 28th. Or is it 26th and 27th? I always get those two mixed up, but it's going to be that weekend. So if you're in Augusta, Georgia, and you want to be a part of that, or if you're not in Augusta, Georgia, and you want to caravan this way, all you have to do is connect with me. I'll get you the information for that. Just let me say, the Lord is doing amazing things with Angel Charmaine, me, and Speak Up Sis. It's something that I've been working towards. I've prayed about. I've been doing the hard work. I've been developing my skills and honing all the spaces and doing all the things. And the Lord has been opening doors and providing opportunities. And so I'm really excited about this. For those of you who support the work that I do, and you support Speak Up Sis, if you are ever close to anything that we're doing, I need the Speak Up Sis community to show up. Just like the magazine, I need for you to share. When you get your magazine, take a picture, post it, shout it out. In order for Speak Up Sis to grow outside of our intimate community for other people to see, then I need the support of the Speak Up Sis community. I feel like I need to find y'all a name or something. Maybe y'all want to be a beehive or a Barbie girl or whatever, like the rest of these people. I need to find out what I'm going to call the Speak Up Sis community, because I need y'all to show up in that way. Like I need y'all to be butterflies floating around everywhere you see Speak Up Sis. I need you to be doing that. It is how we grow. It is how we get to the next level. It is how our platform can be magnified so that when you step on the Speak Up Sis page, everyone can see you and what it is that you're doing. So please, if you see me speaking at an event and you're close to it, come to it. If you see me, pushing out something, like grab a hold of it and push it out as well. People need to see that we are real. There are so many people in the Speak Up Sis community that I know, but other people don't realize that we're a pretty strong community because you all don't show up the way you need to. I need y'all to start showing up. Okay. I need y'all to start showing up. Real talk. Real talk. God is opening doors, and listen, I'm walking through each and every one of them. I'm also going to be speaking. I was invited to speak in July 12th to some girls in a camp. I'll share more about that when I get more information about it. I was also in conversation about speaking, being a keynote at a conference in October as well. So listen, if you are looking for a speaker, if you're looking for someone to talk about authenticity, if you're looking for someone to talk about speaking up and living the truth, or all of the things that you all know is my lane, feel free to reach out. I am saying yes to all the things the Lord tells me to say yes to. And just let me say this. I'm excited to also be receiving paid opportunities. I do volunteer. I absolutely do volunteer, but I'm also excited to be having paid opportunities as well. And let me tell you, don't feel no kind of way in your soul about that, because it's been almost 7 years that I have been putting in this work. And so I bless the Lord for all the doors that are opening. And I'm grateful for all of you who are coming along on this journey with me. You already know the Speak Up Sis stage was created for you all to stand on. And so I thank you for those of you who support every single thing that I do. Those of you who are still in the background, I need you to need you to come forward. Make yourself present. Okay. I need you to come on. If you are not on, if you're not on the TikTok platform, or excuse me, if you are on the TikTok platform and you're not connected to Natty Knowledge, I need you to do that. We are few followers shy of our first 10,000 followers on that platform. I'm really excited about that. The people in the TikTok arena have been embracing me and the work that I do, and embracing my voice in that space. Excuse me. So if you are not connected to me in the TikTok realm, feel free to do that. If you would just want to stay here on the Facebook space, and you can do that as well. If you want to just stay in the YouTube space, you can stay where you want to be. But just know I am doing the work in order to position Speak Up Sis in front of the masses. And I need your help to stand behind me. I need you to be okay with standing behind Speak Up Sis and helping to push us forward and to lift us higher. Okay. And with that, because my phones, y'all hear my phones ringing, ringing, ringing. So I need to go. I love y'all with the love of Christ. I pray that today's talk has been helpful and beneficial. And I will see you all tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for 11 a.m. talks with Angel Charmaine. Make sure you invite somebody tomorrow to tune in and listen